put that.
30-year-old, I think, can do that.
Exactly. So that is difficult to absorb.
Yeah.
You look at it, you enjoy what it looks like,
Yeah.
and then you move the hell on.
I have to say though, because you and I come from the generation before social media, I don't ever remember looking at my phone all the time and taking like, you know, when people go out now and they go to clubs, you literally see
I know.
them dancing and looking at the camera.
I know.
When you dance, you dance. You don't sit and take a video of yourself dancing.
It's blood and nuts, but it's the way life is.
Yeah.
We have to embrace it. It's part of our culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Evolution.
And we got to understand that is the new normal.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned as an older man is that you can either adapt to the new normal, the new way of life, or we can fight it.
Yeah.
Because I've been through those days where my father, my parents are going, oh, I remember the good old days when, what the hell is the good old days?
Yeah.
They were the days that you enjoyed when you had the energy, when you had the fortitude to actually do what was available. This whole new generation, they have things that are different, that is available to them, and they're enjoying it. You don't understand it.
Yeah. But I believe in adapting. I think adaptability is so important if you want to be happy.
If you want to live happily after 40, you got to adapt. If you don't adapt, you might as well get your rocking chair, start drooling.
Yeah. Start being bitter, cynical, judging everybody. Because when you don't adapt is actually when you're judging people.
Exactly.
You know, I know people who, they're actually younger than me. They're not on social media much. And they, according to them, are being more authentic. And this is, I understand their standpoint, but you see the judgment that's happening.
Right.
According to them, they're being more authentic because they're not like other people constantly having to take videos for validation from others. And I go, what makes you think that everybody's posting pictures for everyone else's validation? And you know, it's it's the judgment that comes in.
But here's the other thing. Imagine if you had the same media when you were their age.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Well, probably the same thing.
Probably do the same bloody thing. And this is why I try to get to people's understanding, to let them know that the only reason you are defying it or you are resisting it is because it wasn't available to you. I can guarantee you if your grandma had an iPhone or a smartphone and a camera with her all the time, she'd be freaking taking selfies. Grandma would be butt naked on the edge of a desert or whatever, taking selfies. Done. That's it.
Yeah, and I guess it's also individual, you know, preferences. I'm pretty sure that if I had this, say at the age of 18, 19, back then even I was quite shy. So I liked having my picture taken, but I was still shy. It's my personality. I'd have pictures there, but there'd not be so many in terms of selfies.
So you would probably have a lot, but your account would be private.
Probably.
Just for a few people.
Probably.
There we go.
Yeah. It was only after I got into the media business that I understood this is an amazing platform to reach out to people, and I started sharing more of my stuff out there.
Exactly, and that's why we're here.
I used to have a private account on Instagram.
Yeah?
But now I digress. We're going back to Paul and the age thing.
All right.
But can I ask you seriously, is age just a number? I mean, do you really think it's an overrated thing these days that people are giving too much of importance to, not in the right way?
Yes, and that's the easy answer. For clarity, it's a cliche term.
Yeah.
I always say cliches are a cliche because it's true.
Yes.
But of course, age is a number. Yeah. But the point is that, metaphorically. But the point is that you need to define age first.
Right.
Aging.
Right.
If you take care of yourself and you have the same physical abilities of a 20-year-old.
Yes.
Have you aged?
I ask myself this question all the time.
You get my point,
exactly,
though, right?
Exactly.
If you
I trained with Paul the other day. Shame on me. Really, shame on me. I thought
she didn't do that bad. Come on.
Compared to you?
Come on.
My goodness, he's literally on another level, and I could challenge a 25-year-old to train with Paul.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've done that, and
they'll feel really bad about themselves.
But if you put a 20-year-old who's been training all his life against me, there's no compare. He'll kick my ass.
Right.
But what we're talking about is the average. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man, king. So if you understand that simple philosophy, aging is only comparative to someone else's definition of what age is. In other words, I can outperform the average 20-year-old. I can outthink a lot more people at my age, and I have a different perspective on life. That, if you start to look at all the characteristics of aging, and I define it into 5 categories. 1, mental regression, meaning staying either still, because if we're not moving forward, we're still. We're literally
And that's where
regressing.
Adaptability comes in, like you said.
Exactly. Yeah. The aged have to be able to adapt in order to survive in today's world. 2, physical or atrophy, meaning your muscles start to shrink. You reverse that by lifting weights. Simple. Flexibility. Just like an old tree will break in the wind, a young tree will bend.
Yes.
But if you stay flexible, any little slip or fall, you can adjust yourself without pulling or tearing a muscle or breaking a hip.
Right.
Not there yet. Okay? 4, physical, meaning graying, wrinkles.
Right.
Stay out of the freaking sun. Color your hair.
If you have melanin, you really don't have anything to worry about.
Even me, I don't go in the sun. I hate going in the sun.
I go out in the sun.
Yes.
I love it. But when I go out in the sun, I wear a lot of coconut oil.
Yeah, but you make sure that coconut oil.
On my skin.
Okay. You make sure that you protect yourself and you don't abuse it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't overdo it.
And 5. What was 5?
What was 5?
I don't know.
Maintaining good relationships.
Staying social.
Yeah.
Social. There is, so that keeps you mentally mentally alive, forming good relationships and we are a social species, and the minute we stop being social, then we start to die.
Do you find it odd that one of my best friends is 25 years old and my other best friend is almost 60?
Yeah, you can fall into those categories.
You see?
Yeah. Easy.
Every age group.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm actually, the self-preservation thing that works, because once I hit 70, my youngest friend will still be like a good decade behind me, which is amazing.
50, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. But those are my tips. And anything else to hit me up with?
As a father, how have you changed towards your daughters? When did you have them? How old were you when you had your kids?
I had my kids at 41.
Oh, okay. So that's quite late compared to most men.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have been a dad? Or is it something that obviously happened once you got married? But did you have that goal to be a dad? I'm just kind of building up.
I debated whether I wanted to have kids.
Right.
I put it off to the very end. You know, business and life, wanted to enjoy me first. Right. I had that impression. Right. And only when I hit 40, I had to say to myself, is this something you want to regret?
Yeah.
You might regret when you're 50, 60 years old, and then you say, nah, there's no way I'm going to have a child now, where by the time he's a teenager, I can barely run. Come here, boy. Even though I've been blessed with 2 girls. So I decided, okay, this is the age. All right, let's do it.
Right.
Right? Of course, it wasn't always up to me, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not taking like full responsibility for this. But I made a conscious decision that this is what I wanted. My wife and I. She had something to do with it. just a little bit. Just
a little bit.
Yeah.
Just 9 months of carrying each child.
Just a tiny bit.
Them, impacting the body a lot more than you.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah, whatever.
But how have you changed as a dad over the past 12 years? I'm talking from an age perspective.
One, kids truly shows you the definition of what love is. Right. You will not love anything in this world more than you love your kid.
Absolutely.
And the reason for this is simply because it's a selfish reason. It's because they are part of you.
Right.
They are your DNA.
Exactly.
Right? the preservation of our DNA.
Yeah. So it's the ultimate form of love, but not necessarily selfless love. It is a selfish love because we're connected to them by our DNA.
Yes.
Because if it was selfless love, you'd see a lot more adopted children.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the reason why we adopt, of course, we have people who made the conscious effort or have the conscious desire to adopt, but it goes against our natural self, meaning there are people who think that there's too many kids in this world who need a home, and they'll adopt kids. Angelina Jolie, for example. But then there are people who can't have kids.
Yes.
So they have to satisfy that need to reproduce, or to have someone else pass on their knowledge. Because knowledge is the one thing that also preserves us.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay? When you pass on your knowledge, you literally downloading your software into someone else. The DNA would technically be your hardware. Right? Yeah, that's
so
it.
Interesting that you say that.
Yes, it's trying to understand. These are the things I always have a massive interest in understanding what is it that makes people do the things we do. That's why a mother will die for her child. Any species in this earth will look to preserve his software or his DNA hardware by sacrificing himself first.
Which makes sense now why there's so much of societal indoctrination. You have parents that force their kids to live a certain way, which is almost the way that they used to live.
Exactly.
Because it's that whole downloading thing.
Yep.
The survival.
And if you try to go against the code that they have tried to impose on you, we all do.
Yep. I'm a rebel.
They reject, they come at you hard.
Yeah, and they take it personally.
Of course.
And they look at themselves as a failure.
Yes. However, not realizing that every software has to be upgraded in order for it to be relevant.
Yeah, I wonder what version you and I are.
I don't know. We're way out there.
Way out there. Completely different from where I was brought up, that's for sure.
Exactly. So yeah. That's a beautiful, interesting topic. I love talking about these issues.
I think we could have a separate video on that itself.
Yeah. If you guys want to hear more about my views on this particular issue, or you want to contribute, by all means, pop me a comment below, please.
And so, as a dad, do you think you are way more patient now with them because of your age, as opposed to, say, had you had them at the same age when you're 35?
Patience, no.
Okay.
I think it is part of who we are as individuals. As we get older, we have less patience because we tend to think that people should know this crap. They should know it.
Right.
Because we've seen it so many times and they should know it.
Yeah.
But they don't. They're like a clean slate. And in a lot of time, because I'm a conscious person, I have to stop, breathe, and say, yeah, they don't know it. Now, I'm getting to the point now where I have a 12-year-old who thinks that she knows everything. That is frustrating.
Wait until she turns 16.
Yeah, I know. I think kids are maturing much quicker.
Yeah.
She's experienced this at 12. But yeah, you guys know. If you guys out there, you have that young daughter who thinks that she knows everything, tell me about it, guys. Tell me about it, because I need help as well. I need help.
No, but honestly, I've seen Paul with his daughters, and he's the most different dad that I've ever seen, because he's so, you treat them like people. You don't even treat them like you're my kid. You have this whole thing that you're an individual. You treat them like you're just a short little individual, but I'm going to treat you like a person.
Yeah.
And don't expect the whole cuddle fest and the molly coddling and everything.
Yes.
You don't do that.
I don't do it in my everyday. They know that they get that before they go to bed.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Daddy, you got to come and tuck me in. It's a standard response before they go to bed.
Right.
I have to cuddle, and I have to tell them how much I love them, how sweet they are. I make sure I reinforce that before they go to bed.
And that's important.
Yeah, so that they know that when they're sleeping, they have parents who, and my wife does this as well, they have parents who, when they're about to fall into that dream state,
the subconscious is absorbed.
That is there. I got that comforting, reassuring hug and words of love from mommy and daddy. So that to me is very important. I never had that as a kid.
Right.
I grew up hardcore Caribbean. Boy, go to your bed. That's it. There's nothing else to it.
Right.
Might occasionally say, okay, I love you. Now go sleep. That's hard.
Yeah.
I don't want my girls to experience that. I want to be hard during the day, like, hey, get stuff done, clean, do blah, blah. Then at night, reinforce that, hey, all of this is done with love.
How would you have been different if you were 35 and having 11-year-old?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say something that it's impossible to be at.
Yeah.
But trying to remember at 35.
How you were back then? Yeah.
Well, thinking at 35 where I'm hustling, I'm trying to push for work and I'm trying to be successful, it's hard to actually think about how I could be with them. Because another thing we're going to talk about is my wife and I reverse roles. In other words, I'm a Mr. Mom more of. I have my own business and I operate as a freelancer working out of my home. My wife goes to the office. She's corporate exec and that's what she does. So she has less time than I do for the kids. So I do all the kids pick up, etc. So I enjoy a different part of the life than that was the role that was sort of allocated for women.
So, because I remember during this conversation we had, you said when you were in your 30s, you had the ego. Do you think Paul with the ego at 35 would have been okay doing that?
I would have.
Okay.
Because I remember having this foresight and understanding that men and women roles were bullshit.
Right.
And I think that's actually...
That is going to be a completely different episode.
No, absolutely.
Oh my.
And I think we should leave it at that because I think that would make for another full, interesting conversation for this channel.
5-part series.
Yeah. But I put it this way, I grew up with 5 sisters.
Right.
So I'm the only son that I grew up with. So it's a matter of understanding where I sat in it was in the middle, but seeing how they grew and understanding the whole psychology with women. Then
you've got a doctorate, literally in women.
Yeah.
And now you're surrounded by 3 girls. You've got 2 daughters.
Exactly. So So I don't know what I would do with boys if I had them, to be honest with you. Right. So but like I said, that's a whole other discussion, and we'll have that in another conversation.
Absolutely. But thank you so much, my friend. I mean, I love this conversation. Always enlightening, as ever.
She's a sweetheart, isn't she?
I say what I mean and I mean what I say.
I know.
You know that about me.
And you know exactly that about me
That's
as well.
why we're friends.
Yes.
How long have we been friends now? I
gosh,
think
it's
8 years?
7, 8 years. Almost 8 years. Yeah.
Quite a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. We've been lucky though. People say, oh, Dubai, you're not going to have real friends. It's fake. It's complete bullshit.
That's a whole other episode as well. But we're going to be talking about Dubai. For those of you that are living in the Cayman Islands that's watching this, I'm going to have more episodes trying to explain what life is as an expat living outside the island and trying to get you guys inspired, not to leave, but to actually experience life a little bit different. So if you're interested in that, hit me up below, send me a private message, and we'll talk about some ideas, or if you have any questions.
Thank you guys for watching.
Oh, absolutely. So if you like what we're saying, if you want to hear more conversations like this, please hit us up, like, subscribe. Where's the button? Is it down or? I don't know. Wherever it is, subscribe. Cool.
Bye, guys.